Well, hey guys, what is going on out there this afternoon, evening? Depending on where you are, might be morning as well. Hope you're having a great day so far, wherever you are. Brent Abel here, webtennis.com, with another episode of some tennis mindset training every afternoon at 2:30 Pacific. Um, Out here, in the Mission Hills Country Club, Rancho Mirage, California. And today we're going to work on, how do we keep working when there's zero progress? And I got a little story to share with you about when I first started working with a legendary Northern California coach, Tom Stow, and kind of what I learned from the experience with him when I felt no progress, and kind of mistake I made back then, and what I've been able to do instead. Hey, Mark, thanks for showing up again. Appreciate that. Nicely done. So, guys, look, before we get rocking with this and rolling, just a quick reminder: every morning at 8 o'clock, we do a daily episode of What's the Right Shot? Yeah, so it's a live episode. What's the right shot is based on two premises. Number one, shot choice. Where do you want the ball to land over there? And then number two, how do you want to enhance the quality of that shot choice by where you move to next? And I introduced a third one this morning, which was, what's the message that you're sending when you do that? And it's mostly about court positioning. So just something to keep in mind. But every morning, daily, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific, I do go live. And then, every afternoon, right back here, 2:30 in the afternoon Pacific, tennis mindset training. A little nugget for something that maybe worked for me or maybe didn't work for me. I don't know all the answers. I know what's worked for me, but anyway. So look, let's get rolling on this. And so when I first started working with the great Tom Stow, and I do mean the great Tom Stow, because a Northern California legend, coached some of the all-time greats way back in the day. Coached Don Budge to the first men's Grand Slam title, calendar Grand Slam, all four majors in the same year. That was back in 1938. And then I got fortunate enough to be able to work with Tom only for about the last 18 months of his life in the early 80s. And I made a decision when I went to see him, which was, I'd sort of been a do-it-yourselfer trying to figure out the game for a long time, and had some decent results, but really was never coached, and never really was ever really kind of grounded in any kind of fundamentals or basics. And there were other guys around me who had, either been lucky enough to have been coached by Mr. Stowe, or another good coach in Northern California. And I just felt like, I'm just missing something. So kind of begged my way into this group with three other guys at the time. They were all good friends of mine, but they were all top, literally 6 or 7 NorCal in the men's open at the time. That was in the early 80s. And I'd known Tom when I was a kid back at the Berkeley Tennis Club when he worked there. So he said, all right, we'll give it a try. And so after probably, I'd go up there every Wednesday morning from 9 to 12 with these three other guys. We get them for 3 hours. And I just, all of a sudden, the game was presented to me in a completely different way than I'd ever really thought about it before. And so, but in the beginning, it was pretty ugly in the beginning. I mean, I just, I don't know if I sent this in the email or maybe I talked about it earlier today, but when I first worked with him, I would say for the first 2 months, I mean, I really had no control of what he was teaching me, in terms of, I'd come back to the Berkeley Tennis Club, try to practice it all week, and balls were just sailing all over the zip code, 94705. I mean, it was pretty bad. And I had good friends of mine at the club who I played with a lot, who were just going, shaking their head and going, "Look, is this something that you really want to be doing? I mean, you're playing way worse than you ever have." And I kind of listened to him, and I didn't really say anything other than, I'm gonna keep working on it. But for me, I eventually got pretty good at it, and actually won my first national title in the 35s men's doubles, the hard courts. And this was right after he passed away. Tom Stowe passed away. A little bittersweet, right? I mean, you win the gold ball, and the first thing when you're walking up to shake hands is, I'm thinking about, God dang it, I don't. I mean, I'm going to call my dad, I'm going to call my mom, but the guy you really want to call is Tom Stowe, and I can't do it. So that was a little bittersweet. But I really didn't really get his stuff fully until literally, I stopped trying to measure my improvement every day. I mean, I'd go out there and I go, okay, I'm on this path. I won this thing. Now I just want to keep going. I want to keep getting better and better and better. And yeah, I'm going to keep working. But there was so long I just got zero progress. Nothing was getting any better. And so I kind of had to come to this realization, and I think a lot of this was George Leonard's book, Mastery, small little tiny book, but written by this guy also from Northern California, George Leonard, and basically just talked a lot about that. So much of learning is you're on this plateau, and we'd like it to be the learning curve to be this nice gradual, slow on the graph line that goes up, right? And that's just not how learning works. And so the takeaway that I finally got was that number one, do you actually believe in the information that you've got at hand? And for me at the time, it was all about the Stow method. And I had to believe in it because the guy had so much credibility. It was almost like, well, I don't want to be the one who actually doesn't get it or doesn't get any real benefit out of it. So yeah, I believed in the information he was giving me, even though for a long time, it wasn't perfect. And then, did I really trust him? Did I really trust, even at the end of his life, where things weren't great? I think he was having a hard time kind of articulating everything. I probably made it a little tougher on him by not getting it right away and kind of some frustration. But in the end, I had to sort of believe, the next question was, well, do I really trust that this guy can deliver the information? And I would go around to other guys who'd been working with Tom Stow, and this was after he passed away, and I would pick their brain. And they would come up with a little bit different version of it, but did I trust them? I did. So I kind of answered the first two questions, right? Number one, do you trust the information? Yes. And do you trust the person who's delivering it? Yes. And I would go out from time to time and hire another pro and sort of work on what they thought was the right, wouldn't really had nothing to do with Stow method, but I just didn't trust it. I just kept coming back to the guys who had really taken from Tom and knew it. And then, the thing, like I said before, have others had success with his method? And the answer was just, in big, bold, capital, underscored letters, yes. Then I really had no choice. And that was just I have to keep working. So the answer is maybe a little anticlimactic. How do we keep working when there's zero progress? Other than maybe in my case, I tell guys just kind of tongue in cheek, well, maybe I was just too stupid to know when to stop. And maybe that was a good thing. But I think if you can answer those first few questions, is the information good? You really, really believe it's good? Do you believe in the person that's articulating it to you? And do you trust that they've got you in terms of your best interest, right? Delivering that information. And then do you trust that others have had, or is there proof that others have had success? And if you can answer, yes to those three, then the only thing you can keep doing is believe in the plateau, as George Leonard kind of described it, as I said in this book, Mastery, and just trust that delayed gratification is coming your way if you do the work. Now, look, if you stop doing the work, then how is anything ever going to get better? So I had a student today, one of my coaching students, and he was asking me about goals. And he was saying, well, his goal is he wants to win a national title. He wants to win, this and that. And I said, okay, well, and he even admitted, those are not 100% controllable, right? I mean, there's a lot of reasons you could have that goal, but you might show up for the next couple of years at a gold ball event, national category 1, and it's out of your control whether or not you can win that or not. And so, he asked me, he said, well, what are your goals? What did you do last year for your big year in 2023? I said, the only goal I had was to do everything I possibly could do to make myself a better tennis player. And that was really without a goal, it was much more about a process. And so it's like on those days when I'm just not feeling it, we've talked about that recently. God dang it. I just like, if I don't feel like going to the gym, I just look at the shoes and I go, screw it. I'm putting the shoes on. Look at the water bottle. I go fill up the water bottle with water. All right. Walk over to the bike, stick it in the water holder or the water bottle holder. And then I sit in the bike and I turn the TV. It's in the garage. And if I'll do that, then I overcome that thing about I'm just not feeling it today. I'm just not going to keep working. So I think if you really want it bad, if you really, really want to become a better player, stop thinking about goals that are sort of out of your control and zero in more on what do you have to do today to make yourself a better tennis player. I think there's kind of five pillars. Number one is stroke technique. I think that we work way too much on it, and all we ever do is add technique. We ought to be what I do is I try to pare away. I try to take away technique so I have less to do on a forehand or a backhand or whatever it is. And that's not taking away the quality. It's taking away the repeatability of it. It's making me much more of a consistent shot maker. So yeah, I do work on paring away the unneeded stroke technique. Number two is tactics. What are we doing for a tactical focus in terms of what is that guy really good at? All right, then the focus is we're not going to give him that thing. Or what is that guy really not good at? Okay, that's what we're going to give him. Or maybe he doesn't like moving up and back. I don't know, but you've got to probe to find out what your tactical focus is. That's a skill that you got to get good at. The next thing is fitness. I mean, look, the biggest controllable of all this stuff is the kitchen, is the fitness, is how much time you're going to spend in the gym. You can't tell me that carrying around extra baggage is a good thing to make yourself the best possible player that you can be. It just doesn't work that way. So why not decide if this is what you want to do? And if you don't, that's fine. But if you really, really, honest to God, want to become a better tennis player, then why not be the fittest guy at your club? Why not be the fittest guy in your region? Why not be the fittest guy in the country, in your age group? It's a controllable. And if you want it that bad, then you will keep working to make that happen. Fourth thing is mental. That was the one part of my game that was a missing piece, right? I just was in denial forever until about the last 18 months. And I said, screw it. I'm going to study it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get some help. And I did. And there you go. I mean, my results last year, unlike anything I've ever done before, not even close. Not even close. And then the fifth pillar, experiences. Are you putting yourself out there? Not only are you drilling, but are you putting yourself out there in practice matches? And are you putting yourself out there where the results are made public, right? Could be a league thing, could be a tournament thing. Public meaning it could be a club event where the results are posted up there in the bulletin board, right? So if you're hitting all five of those and you're not missing out on one, then I just think it's inevitable. If you can answer yes to those three questions before, which are, have you got the right information? All right. I've always had the right information since I started working with Tom, right? Do you believe in the guy who's delivering it? Absolutely. Might not be Tom himself, but it was someone else who understood that stuff, right? And then, has anyone else ever had success with this stuff? Well, if you can answer yes to that, then I just think it's inevitable. If you keep going, you keep doing the work, and you keep doing the work on those days when you really, really, really don't want to do it, I don't know how you're not going to become a better tennis player. So, all right, a little bit of a rant today, maybe a little tough love. Always good, I think, to kind of bring that. But, I had that done to me a few times, and it made a big difference. It was I worked with Michael Wayman, a former British great player, great men's player, tough guy back in the 70s, early 80s, really good. And I worked with him in Moraga, Northern California for, I don't know, maybe a dozen sessions of a couple hours each. And I give him full credit for helping me win my first singles gold ball back in 2009, when the National 60 hard courts. And there's no question that he gave me some in your face. What are you doing with that? That's just, anyway, that's for another discussion. One of my all time favorite guys on the court, Michael Wayman. He was the coach at St. Mary's College for a long time. Just a unique guy, and was no BS, man. So, guys, that's it for me today. Hope this has been helpful. And yeah, just a quick reminder here that, well, first of all, if you like this stuff, please hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you get that notification bell so that every time I go live, you're reminded. And anytime I upload some new content, recorded as well. Look, if you are new to me at Web Tennis, if this is your first time, all right, well, I'm, maybe not this much in your face all the time. But anyway, hope this was helpful today. And look, one of the realities of being a tournament player or a league player or a very serious match player is the reality. It's the 80-20 reality that 80% of the time during that match, you are not playing points. You are either you are either between points or you're on side changes, right? So if you don't manage the 80% of the match really well when we're not playing, the other 20% when we do play, it's tough to really have some clarity. Not just in kind of how you want to start the point, but shot choice clarity as well once you get into the point. So look, what I've got is a 4 parts, it's a step-by-step system routine that I use. That's really been helpful to me to not only get shot choice clarity, but also tactical focus clarity as well. It's a free course, about 20 minutes. And I go through detail each one of those 4 steps. And happy to give it to you. All you got to do is just go on over to webtennis.com, drop in a first name, email address, and you will get immediate access to that 20-minute private but free video. Guys, that's it for me today. Any more questions down below in the comment section? Comments, remarks, feedback, whatever it is, let me know. I'd love to read that and respond to you. And then if you want to keep it private, feel free to shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Guys, hopefully see you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time zone. Another episode of What's the Right Shot. And then again tomorrow afternoon, same time, 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon Pacific time. We do a little mindset, tough love, baby. Here we go. All right, guys, that's it. As always, got to get out there. Help someone else have a great day. Guys, see you again next time.